Tell me, what has trainers done for you or given you?
Right, so trainers for me was an amazing experience, and I chose to do it because, the certification was just, the coaching cert was mind-blowing, minds-blowing, right, all of them, but at the same time I knew there was so much more, and I felt that I'd scratched the surface, so I wanted to go deeper. I also have my own business and wanted to have an option of extending that. My background's in learning and development, so that made sense to me. And yet trainers was so much more than that. And when I look back at it, the one thing I wish I'd done maybe, say, a month before I arrived was go and review CERT, so that, because I remember sitting in the room sometimes going, wow, and just kind of, because although it's obviously covering all the material that you learn on coaching certification, you get it at a deeper level so that you're able to then teach others the certification material. So there was that element to it that was just so much deeper for me, revisiting the material in a different way, which then, again, having just delivered my first coaching certification with one of the amazing people I met on the training certification, I learned the material at an even deeper level, both when I was preparing for that, and then secondly when I was delivering it, and also by having a co-trainer, I learned from the way he presented it. So it's just been kind of layering, and learning more and seeing something new in the material each time I'm coming to it. And the other piece for me was just, there's no just about it really, the relationships with other trainers, and as I said, I've co-trained with someone already from that group. I have plans to co-train with other people from that group as well. So we are looking at how we grow our own connections with people who are also working from a place of coherence and congruence and higher expressing, and it just makes life richer.
About mBIT training is it feels like a privilege. It feels like I'm gifting so much out above and beyond the content.
Yeah.
What would you say is your best gift that you can give back because you've got those skills?
For me, one is the pure training others to be able to coach. There's that whole ripple effect of, when I did the certification in January, like you're saying, the absolute privilege of doing that, and the people and watching their kind of opening that week, was just amazing to be part of. And it was really, by the end of that 4-day course, I was absolutely exhilarated and totally exhausted, because I had given so much to these people to bring them into this amazing world. So there's that piece. The other piece that really excites me is the other spaces that I am working, and how I'm able to weave the training material into other programs, with working with Grant to make sure that I'm doing it in a way that keeps the content pure, but still works within what else I'm doing, and is introducing people into this without necessarily sitting down with them and saying, we're going to do this. It's, let me just bring it to you in the language that works for you, and that ties in with everything else we're doing. So at the end of this program, you will have access to your multiple brains and everything else we're doing. And that just excites me, that I'm able to do this in a way that, as a coach, I was restricted to much more of that one-to-one. It's just opening up that opportunity to go broader and to work with groups and in different ways in different environments.
Be a real influencer on a much wider level.
Yeah,
beautiful.
Absolutely. It's that whole, one of the things that really stuck out for me talking about learn, I mentioned that every time I come back to the material, something new stands out for me, and there were something Grant said in our hour-long session with him, where he said about the influencing piece, and that, you know, so I'm talking one-to-one with a coaching client, they will then speak to somebody who will then speak to somebody who then, you know, they're kind of 4 type layers, and I'm like, I love that moment when I'm working one-to-one with somebody. When I'm working with a group, all of them, you know, and it's just that, is that the way that we influence on a deeper level than when we do when we're just working one-to-one with somebody.
Beautiful. Thank you.
One of the other things I think we have as trainers that we miss out on when we're only coaches is the opportunity to really work at an organisational level and make change there and introduce this in an organisational space.
Vikki, for people who are maybe, you know, thinking about joining us, who might want to connect with some of the trainers who are active in that, you know, mBIT training community, just to let them know who you are, where you are, where they can find you, and maybe what your kind of particular area of passion, your chapter 9 is.
Oh, chapter 9, love chapter 9. So I'm Vikki Coombes. I am the CEO and founder for Your Bright Horizons. My primary target audience, if you like, my chapter 9ing is working with people in the world who I call hummingbirds, and they are the people who have multiple passions. They're ever-changing, filled with variety, constantly doing new things, and often feel that there's something wrong with them because they don't find the passion or the thing. And other names for them are multi-potentialite scanners. There's lots and lots of different names for us, which fits because we like variety. So that's who I'm working with. I'm based in London, but I'm a Kiwi, and therefore I work globally. And I do coaching, learning, and consulting.
Someone out there who was thinking of doing the course, but from your perspective, what difference has it made to you shifting from that coach level to trainer level?
I've noticed that I am doing mBraining for myself a lot more than I was as a coach. So I was doing it beforehand, but in a much more spasmodic, actually what I could do now is I could mBrain this, is actually now it's just part of my daily life. And, you know, I might be on the tube and I'll be sitting there doing my balanced breathing and getting myself ready for whatever I'm going to. You know, even a couple of minutes before going into a meeting, I might just take a moment, bring myself back to coherence. I'm ready to go in and you know, be my most compassioning, creating, encouraging self in that meeting, you know. And so it's bringing that level of mBraining into my life. And also at the same time, my partner has now also completed his coaching certification. And one of the things we're both beginning to do with each other is that mBraining with one another. And, you know, I'm really excited about that opportunity to both. I was incredibly privileged to train him, but also to be able to sit down now and say, we've got this decision to make. Why don't you take me through, and then I'll take you through. So it's bringing, as I said, just layers and layers into my life that were introduced at certification level, and now it's just taking that next step. You know, and that's what excites me about this field, is there's always something new to learn and to grow in. So, yeah.
Awesome. And you were clearly an experienced trainer. You were already in learning and development. You ran a very successful, you know, professional life within that field. What has mBraining added to that ability to train and be in learning and development?
It's wow. From a learning perspective, even when I'm because I do consulting as well as coaching and training, right? And I find across all 3 aspects of my business now, my interactions with my clients have changed. More from the point of view of hearing where they're speaking from, which of their brains is communicating, where the blocking is or the stucking is, and particularly what I found in a learning environment where there's a group that I'm working with in order for them to learn whatever the thing might be, I'm seeing that group dynamicing as well, and how that's working between the different brains. And I then have started changing how I present certain topics, how I might start a training, how I might gradually bring a group, because bearing in mind a lot of my learning is in corporate environments, which is obviously incredibly head brain. Often I'll start there because that's where they're comfortable, and then just gradually lead them somewhere else so that we start looking at this in a different way, whatever the topic might be. And I've also been doing that with my consulting, but that's a lot more subtle. It needs to be a lot more subtle, because you really, in a consulting space, get to have that one-to-one with everybody. So you are working in group dynamics, and it changes regularly. I'm just quietly feeding it in, and seeing what that brings.
Awesome.